Well, my name is Carmen Quinones. I'm a former Democratic District Leader, State Committee woman, and now I am the president of Douglas Houses, one of the biggest and largest housing developments in New York City.
Wow. You still are, right?
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
last year I did interview you and you still continued?
Yes, I'm still doing the same thing, Walter.
So you're a winner. I remember someone challenged your position and you won
Yeah.
those.
Actually, they challenged me 4 times, and I won 4 times.
Good for you.
God is good. When I was growing up, right, I didn't know anything about politics. We weren't privy to any of that stuff, right? And when I became older, and got involved in tenant patrol and sitting down in my building and protecting my building, you know, a lot of the seniors were complaining about, you know, what's happening in their apartments. And so, you know, they said, Carmen, you know, you got a big mouth. Why don't you help us out? And so, you know, I started looking at what was happening around me. And what was happening around me was that seniors were being taken advantage of, that people were living in conditions that were deplorable. And so I started going from apartment to apartment and saw the conditions myself. And
It was all here in
it
Douglas
was right
House?
here, Douglas Houses. And so, you know, looking in my own building where I live, I saw people living in conditions that no one should ever live in. And so I became angry. Angry, number one, that this was right underneath my nose and I didn't know about it. And angry that people that did know about it did nothing. And so I decided to do something about that. And so I started by, you know, gathering complaints, taking pictures, calling New York One, getting the news to come in and seeing the conditions that people were living in. And then I went to the elected officials and told them, listen, you know, we need help. Okay? And I was very angry at the time about how things were working and how people were making decisions for me. I got tired of people voting for me. And so I said, you know what? And that's when I realized how important it was to vote. Because if I don't vote, somebody's voting for me. Somebody's making decisions for me. And I refuse to let that happen ever again.
So, still, I want to come back to my main question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to people like me or any other 88 million people who don't care to vote?
Walter, I know that politics is a very crazy game. It's a dirty game. And people are tired. People are tired of the same people making promises that they don't keep. And the problem with that is this. Electing the same people, then you're going to get the same thing. There's a lot of elected officials that have been in office and are not doing their jobs. And so people are angry. People are saying, why would I vote when it's going to be the same thing? And I feel it and I understand it, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right that you give up something that your ancestors fought and died so hard for, the right to vote. The right to vote, the right to voice your opinion. To just not have an opinion, to not have a voice, when our ancestors died for that right, so that we will be able to vote. If you don't vote, you can't get these people out. So guess what? We get the same people over and over and over again that, excuse my French, are screwing us. because people are not voting. Personal. I'm gonna get personal. My brother died of AIDS. When AIDS was something that was taboo. And he was in St. Luke's Hospital. And they would not touch my brother. He was treated so badly.
How long ago? What year?
We're talking about in the 80s. And he was treated so badly that we, as a family, had to make sure that he was clean, had to make sure that he was okay. But I saw my mother suffering. And I said, wow, I can't stay shut. So I guess politics is in my blood, if that's what you want to call it, politics. I call it justice. I call activism is what I do. I don't like injustice. I can't stay shut, and that's why I'm here today. And I'm gonna keep doing it because I'm not gonna let people keep getting abused. And that's why I tell people, you know, you want to know about what's going on, but you don't want to get involved. Hello? You're asking me questions, why don't you come to the meetings? Why don't you get involved, right? We all have an obligation on this land. We all have a destiny here. We all must find our destiny. And I tell people this all the time. Look for your destiny. What bothers you? What you don't like, do something about it. Voting is doing so much. If people would vote, we would not have this abuse that we have in government today. So when you come up to me and say, oh, Carmen, you know, this is happening to me and I need your help. Do you vote? Do you vote? And you tell me no. Why should I help you? But why would I? Why should I? You don't have a voice. You don't have a voice. You're not voting. You have no voice. You have nothing to say. So what are you? A mute. You make no difference here at all.